We're back. All right, we got venue bookmarking working, at least in its most bare bones sense, but I'm happy with it. It's good enough for the MVP. Like I said, there's ways we can optimize it in the future. There's more to do there because we'll probably want to have a list of your things. But at the end of the day, it is pretty good to me. And, I think just in general, best advice I could give about building a startup, like do not prematurely optimize things. You could spend, weeks. We could spend weeks on making the bookmark thing the best thing in the world. But if we spend weeks on that, we should also be spending weeks on making, our profile the best thing in the world. And then, by the time we're ready to launch this thing, Flutter 7 is going to be out. And upgrading that to that is not, I'm not looking forward to that. So get to market. That's what we're trying to do here. I'm trying to build this reasonably as quickly as possible. At the same time, I'm also trying to teach what I'm doing. So it's obviously taking me a bit longer than if I was just like wired in and doing this. But yeah. I really hope you're enjoying this series. It is been pretty fun for me. It's been daunting. It's also, I know it's a lot for the viewers to really like sit in and go through this whole thing because this is a long playlist. It's very long. But I am seeing, even though the views maybe are less on some of these later videos right now, I'm still seeing people watch, all the way through. I'm still getting lots of comments. So I know there's something good here. I do want to remind everyone that the source code is available to my members only. So on YouTube, sign up as a member, $3.99 a month, and you can have access to our Discord where we chat about things and mentoring and all that kind of stuff, as well as you can request access to the private GitHub. I do intend on making this open source fully at some point, but this is a perk I am saving for my members. So come there and you won't regret it, or at least come for 1 month, and then you can cancel if and you'll, I probably won't remove your access. It's fine. I'm cool like that. Okay, so let's just get into it. Enough about me. I think we're gonna get profile working now. So let's figure this out. So we have our profile root screen. What we want to do is, right now, this is just an empty screen. In fact, there's not even a body yet. So we're going to create our body. But ultimately, I like to, as you've seen in this, is not really put too much UI in the screen component itself. Anything with a scaffold should really just be pretty basic. Usually I'll have stuff for the app bar, but the actual screen itself, I want to make a component. Keeps things just a little bit cleaner, and this is something we will actually be reusing. We're going to use the same profile component for the user that's logged in, myself, but also for other users. So we don't want to just hard code this into one screen and then have to duplicate it. Now, if you did that, it's not a problem. You can always extract the widget and re-optimize later, but I know that we're going to do that, so I'm doing it this way. Here we go. In our user, we will make a new folder because we don't have it yet called components, and we will make a new file called, let's just call it profile component .dart. We'll make this a stateless consumer because most things we're doing needs access to ref, and if it doesn't, we can always change it back. But I know that this will. So let's import these in with control space and build context. Just be careful when you're auto importing build context or any like material stuff. Don't grab it from widgets. Make sure you get it from material. Otherwise, if I did this from widgets just as a thing, you'll see eventually there'll be things that you would think you had access to, but you don't. Or if you do it from Cupertino, now you have just Cupertino installed, and I don't know. Just use the material, just unless you make a Cupertino app, it doesn't make sense. Okay, so we have that. And now let's go back to our thing here and give our profile component. Now our profile component, we should be passing in a user here. So let's actually do final user. And we're going to require that, this .user. Now, for our profile component, we need to get access to our user. So we can do that. We're going to have to convert this to a consumer widget and import in some lovely things. And we're going to do something similar to what we did actually in the bookmark, venue bookmark button, where we get the auth state right here. And we'll have to import that, of course. Then we want to check, I'm just going to copy this, although we will be removing this line here. We will essentially get our user. So I'm actually going to make something called user here, make it nullable, and then we'll actually, we'll call it user, and go like this. Now what we'll do is we'll pass in this user right here, user. Now you're going to see there's an error because this could be null. And I'm actually going to, in our profile component, make this technically nullable. And what we can do right in here is if user equals null, we could actually kind of return something to prompt them to log in, right? So we could have a return. Let's just have like a column, maybe column. We'll make the main axis size dot min. And for its children, let's just have some lovely text that says, you are not logged in, something like that. And let's give it a style, text style, or theme dot of context dot text theme. And let's use like, headline. Let's use like headline small maybe. We'll do that. Now, in order to test this out, because I would have to log out to do it, I'd rather not log out. So I'm actually just going to remove this condition here, and we'll just return it as is, save everything, and there we have it. We also can decide to put this in a center. And just a fun tip here, when you are centering text, this looks fine, right? But what happens when, someone has a smaller screen and it actually breaks your line, or this becomes really long? Look what this is going to look like. You're actually not going to have that centering effect anymore, which is kind of annoying. So what we want to actually do is text align center, and this is like only something you'll notice when those cases happen, because it looks totally fine because the box itself is getting constrained to the size of the text. So now we can do that, and we know we are good. Also underneath this, we are going to put a button. So let's just get our, what are we using, like elevated buttons, pretty much. And let's have a text here, and child text, log in. Oops, didn't mean to do that. And let's just actually log out so we can really actually test this. So now we have our, oh, wait, what am I? I'm in my settings. It didn't, yeah, you were not logged in, log in. Now, something I'm considering here, because how did this work before? If we go to, I think we had a guard on here, account required, sign up, log in. What did that, we have our auth guard modal. How complicated are these? Yeah, because something I'm considering here, we could actually just run essentially the auth guard here by passing in that stuff, and I can put in a wait here. It's not really required. I'm just wondering if, because this will basically like do what we want, where it's actually gonna, because we're not logged in, we're actually gonna have this. That's a fine approach for me right now, because then we don't have to like revisit this logic and get it, moved over. Because there's a few, it's not super complicated. Just trying to think. We have, yeah, because this is meant for the thing itself. The other thing is we could bring them to the login screen and all that, but I kind of like how this all happens in this modal here. So let's just use the auth guard for that. I'm going to also just space this out with a little size box with a height of maybe 16. I'm not trying to make it look beautiful, but so you are not logged in, log in. Okay, cool. So let's go back. We can put this back in now. And actually I realized, this actually shouldn't, yes, this is a bit of a problem, because this is only if, I feel like this logic actually makes more sense in the profile root screen. So we're actually going to wrap this in a builder, right, like this. And I'm actually going to move this logic right here, where we'll check all that stuff here. And user, where does it get user from? Right here. Okay, cool. We could probably also just have all this stuff in the builder just to kind of keep it right there. Right here, we just need to return, let's just return a placeholder, save everything. Okay, cool. So now what we can actually do is we can make this a required field, like not not a nullable field because we'll just have the logic here. This is of course something we could, bring as a reusable component if we decide we need it, but I'm pretty sure the only place we're going to need it is on the root profile screen. I still, even if I'm not logged in, I'm going to be allowed to see other users. Okay, so now we have this user. So let's actually log in. And hopefully I can remember my sign in. Log in. And then that just automatically resets because we have this lovely thing watching the auth state, which is really nice. And there's our awesome placeholder. Okay, something else I want to do just in general, I'm going to add padding around this. In fact, we could put it, let's just do it here. Keep it simple. Wrap some padding just in case, like we saw sort of earlier, if this goes edge to edge, it kind of looks weird when there's no padding. And same with our profile component, at least for now, let's wrap some padding in it too. And doing that will just make, it have this little bit of nice space here. Let's do 16. That feels good. And then 16 here as well, just for that potential edge case. You know what? I don't want it. I actually don't want to use it. I want it to be symmetric, and we'll just do horizontal padding. And the reason is I want this to still go all the way to the bottom because this will, in theory, be something that's scrollable. And we want to, we don't want there to be this weird white spot on either sides here. We want it to go right to the app bar and right to the tab bar. Okay, let's see. What do we know about a user? I guess best place to look is our user. User info, user.dart, user-spy.yaml. Right, we don't have very much yet. We have a bio. We also have an image because that comes part of the user info. If we actually look at that, which I can't actually click through, unfortunately, but we can take a look at that in a bit. So let's do this. So let's have a column. That kind of just makes sense. And we will wrap this in a single child scroll view so that it can scroll if it needs to. Then for its children, let's have something like an avatar. So we're going to make it here first, but we are going to extract this somewhere else, which will be fun. So our container is going to have some decoration, of box decoration, and it's going to have, we want to, first of all, let's just give it a width of, we're just going to hard code something for now. This will be dynamic in the future, maybe like 128, and same with the height, 128. And what we want to do is make the border radius a border radius dot circular and take whatever half of that is. So 128, I'll just do divide by 2, so I don't do the math. It's 64 though, for those who wanted to know. We can also give this like a nice border. So let's give it a border dot all and maybe a width of 2 and a color of like colors dot black. I don't know. And let's just see how that's looking so far. So now we have this lovely circle. Yay. Now our column, oh yeah, right, that makes sense. Let's make the cross-axis, no, what is it? Main axis size? What am I doing here? What am I? I'm like having a brain fart. Cross-axis alignment. Oh, it is cross-axis alignment, right. We're gonna use cross-axis alignment dot stretch, just so the column actually takes up all the room it has. And then, oh, right. And then that sort of stuff happens. There's a few ways we can do this. We could wrap this in an align widget, the whole column, and just do alignment dot top center. There we go. So we'll do that so the column is actually aligned to the top center. Now inside this, we actually need the user image. So I think this is actually a good time. Let's actually get this extracted to its own component. So let's extract the widget, and we're going to call this user avatar component. And as we usually do, we're going to move this into here, user avatar component dot dart. And import some lovely things. Get this from material. Yep, see material, and that's all good. But I am going to actually, yeah, we don't actually need ref, at least not yet. We are going to require though a user to be passed in. Required this dot user. Then when we use this, we're going to see a new error here saying users required, and we can just pass forward the user that came into here. So we're just following the same thing. User goes through, everything's good. All right, wicked. So now for its child, this is where we're going to potentially have a image.network. And let's just see how this works again. So we would get user.userinfo. Userinfo needs to also not be null. So I guess we can, let's just wrap this in a builder. Sometimes builders are just nice for like code organization, aside from the optimization that sometimes comes with it. Because then we can just do some simple things like here. If user.userinfo equals null, what we'll do is we'll have like this placeholder thing. So I'm just going to, for now, return a size box. But I think we'll have one of those like fake, we're going to, actually, I have a fun idea for that one. Okay, then we know user info is not null, and we can actually get the what is the image URL. But image URL could be null, so let's also check that. So we can do this all in the same check. If user.userinfo.image URL equals null, or, and I missed a pipe. We want to also check if it's also, or if it is empty, because it might just be an empty string. Then we do that. Otherwise, we're just going to use this. We know it's good, and we get that in. Now, we will want to essentially have that same width and height. So let's actually make width and height parameter that comes in. And actually, we're going to make it just size. It'll be a double or an integer. Yeah, a double of size. And we can go this dot size and set maybe a default of like, I think like 32 for like kind of like our default size. Then right here, we would actually use size and use size. And then here, instead of doing that, this is why I did the divide by 2. I was thinking ahead, size divided by 2. And then for this, we also use our width is going to be size. Our height is going to be size. And technically, this image might not be a square. So we also want to then, of course, do our aspect ratio, or what is it? It's fit. Box fit.cover. That way we don't see any of the cropping of the image. Okay, cool. So that's actually like looking pretty good. Now we do on our container need to do one more thing. We need to have an overflow or a clipping, clip behavior, clip.anti-alias, and that will make things actually, be contained within. And then here's like an annoying thing about borders. And let's actually make this bigger in this case. So our profile component, we can now pass in size, and let's do like that 128 that we had before to get the nice big face, if that's what we actually want. And we do have this issue because the border's actually going, on the inside or outside. And I need to remember how to fix this. Stroke align inside. I think we changed stroke align. And what is this parameter? It's called border side dot stroke align outside. We do it on the outside. And that makes it a bit better. The only thing is now we're actually incrementing that size by 2 on both sides because of this border width. So we actually have to account for that. So maybe what we'll also do is just make a, and this has to be a double, right? Yeah, we'll have a double of border width. And let's just go this dot border width equals 2.0. I didn't do it here. I like to kind of, when they are doubles, just like note them like that so you don't have to, think about it. And then for here, we will use that border width. And then what we have to account for is the size. We actually have to subtract out the border width times 2. Or do I add it? I think I might have to add it. I think I have to add it. Let's just assume that's the case. No, okay. Maybe it was subtracting. Interesting. Where's that? It's just, and this actually, there's potential that this is actually just a rendering issue of me resizing this, but no, it's clearly not. Okay, let me think about this for a sec. All right, I have a new plan to deal with this, which I think how I usually deal with it. We're not going to actually do a border on it in the same way. Instead, we are going to wrap this widget with another container, and we'll give it a color of, let's just use colors.black again, and we will do the same kind of thing where we have a decoration of this, but we'll take the, let's just see what that looks like so far. Whoa, what happened here? Oh, because the color needs to be within here. Duh. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is actually just make a circle inside a circle, meaning now this, we actually would subtract out the border width times 2, because it needs to do it on both sides. And same for height. Let's just see if we're getting closer here. Okay, so our size, and then the border radius actually needs to be, maybe I'll actually make a variable for this. Final inner size is going to be equal to size minus border width times 2. So then, yeah, this, oh, I didn't give, it's because I didn't give this a width or height. Duh. Okay, so this will be our size. This will be size. Okay, so that size. And then our width and height of this is actually going to be the inner size. And we actually take the inner size and divide by 2. And our image itself should also be inner size. Okay, close. What is going on? I'm just going to wrap this in temporarily in an opacity widget and just make the opacity like 0.1. Let's see what's going on here. So you have the black. Is it because, oh, we probably need to center this too. Or not center that, but technically center this guy. I wonder if we're just, let's make the border width like 5 and make the opacity 1 again. Okay, there we are. We have something happening now. Okay, let's do 3. Hey, wait, it is working. Okay, so the center is what did it. I think it was just not being, not working well. Okay, cool. So let's get rid of that opacity. We don't actually need it. Remove this widget. What is F? Okay, cool. Border width. Oh, probably because my name. What is my actual name? I bet my fake name probably starts with an F. Okay, cool. So we now have this, and we can also maybe add, just to make this more fun, let's have a color called border color. And similarly, we can go this dot border color equals colors dot black. And then we'll use our border color basically for the background here. Awesome. Now I'm curious if this starts to get tiny, where are we actually using this? Let's make it like 32. I think that border width, yeah, is going to look a little bit funky. So I think, that's just something, maybe we just make the default actually smaller on this. Yeah, that looks better. And then here we can actually say, because we know we're making it bigger, which we will be. What do we have this at? 128. We can actually say border width 2. There we go. Okay, awesome. We have the start of our profile. Now, you might be wondering what this picture is, and it is apparently Serverpod will generate you like a profile picture automatically based on your name, and I'm assuming my name started with an F when we created this account, which is why we're doing that, and that's all fine. So I was going to do like one of those we make our own, but Serverpod seems to already handle the the fake avatar sort of stuff, so I think we can leave that as is. Okay, so we have that. What other info do we have, and how do we want to lay this out? Let's just go to our. Can I go to Instagram still on my computer? Can I not just go to a profile? Let's think. What's another? I can just Google what an Instagram profile looks like. Don't need to see a real one. Okay, cool. Because this is something that's. I just wanted to see that image, but sure. Okay. I feel like, this is a tried, true, and tested sort of thing. So I think maybe we can follow this, more or less. So let's make that happen. Okay, so that's our user avatar. We don't need that, at least for now. So what do they have here? Let's think about this. This is kind of, I guess, the app bar is done here. So let's skip that for now and just start with this. So we have this user component. We're going to wrap this in a row. And then we have this sort of other thing here. So let's make that. I am going to also put that as a row. And this will have a main axis size of main axis size.min. And we'll give it some children. And here, yeah, we could have something, what are the metrics here? we'll probably have things like followers and following, that kind of stuff. But followers, posts. I'm trying to think what our metric in our app is that people would care about. We're gonna have like an idea of like check-ins, where like you check into going to an open mic event. I think that's like a really nice metric. I don't think followers and following really matter at this point, because to me this is an app where the social happens more in real life. So that's not as important to me. So maybe it's just as simple as like we can actually just have one sort of thing. So let's figure this out. Let's make a column, and main exercise dot min children, and here we'll have something like, and I'm just going to hard code it in. We'll have a text that says like 84, just like this thing. And we'll use a style of theme dot of context dot text theme dot probably like headline small or something like that. Then we'll put another thing under here that says like check-ins. And this would be, they do it, actually this would probably be headline small. This would be like headline medium or something. So we have that. Let's just see kind of how that looks. Ooh, okay, that's too much. Let's actually go headline small for this and just body large. Okay, that's a little bit better. Now, let's just look at that. Okay, cool. What I want to do is, this is something we might like, say we did want to have multiple of these. I guess it would make sense that this has a bit of padding on it just to be safe, maybe in all directions, so that we have that nice padding. But I also want to actually, let's just make this look a little better. I'll get rid of this one. The reason I'm doing this is I want to make this something we can reuse on this page or in other places. So I think style, let's do a dot copy width, and we can use the line height, and let's actually just make it 1, just so that things get kind of squished together, and that's fine. And same with this one. I'm just going to grab this. And this will essentially make the text really close, and instead we can just have our own size box here to really like customize our height. Maybe it's just like 2, 4, something like that. Okay, that looks cool, and there's a bit of padding around the whole thing just in case 2 go beside each other. So now what I'm going to do is we are going to export or extract this widget, and we're going to call this, for now I only see a need for this on the profile widget, so we're actually going to use an underscore to say, let's call it like profile stat. Okay, now why this will be reusable is we're actually going to allow a label to be passed in and a I guess a value, both as strings. And we will require those. Okay. I don't know what's going on here, but let's just make this work. And then we'll actually use these here. So label is actually check-ins, and value is going to be, or 84 will be our value. And then over here we'll have an error that's saying, hey, you need to have this. So now we just go label check-ins, and value will be, we had 84. And that's good enough for now. So now the cool thing is we could easily just, if we wanted to show like followers and following and all that kind of stuff, we could. That's fine. I also think that this is a little bit too big. We could probably go maybe half of it, maybe 72 is like a nice number. And then, thinking about this on, I mean, we're not really going to do it this way, so it doesn't really matter. We're probably going to have one stat. But this might be something you'd put in a, a list view that could be moved, or we just have to make stuff smaller. I think we could actually go smaller anyways. Let's just go body. Let's see what body small looks like. Yeah, like that's actually better anyways. Maybe body medium. That looks nice. And then what else do they do here? They kind of bold this one a bit. So let's actually do a font weight. Let's do like 600. So not quite bold, but semi-bold, I believe is the word. That looks nice. Then what I want to do is in here, which is why we have a row inside a row, we're actually going to make the outer row do a main axis alignment. main x assignment is that space between, so that this thing and the row right here that has you have to have them in here, otherwise this won't work. It actually gets pushed like that. So that looks kind of cool. And yeah, we could put followers in here, we could put whatever, but let's just keep it as 1 for now. Kind of looks funny like that. You know what? Screw it. We will say how many followers you have. Following, and let's say 12, and I have 1,024. Now, here's a fun thing we can do. Makes sense. We want to maybe be showing things with like, you know, if it's more than 1,000, we show it in like as 1.1K, that kind of stuff. Basically humanize the string, because obviously if this number got really big, like say our app was really popular and we had like 1 million, like this is going to start to look funny. So let's actually get that working. Now, I'm trying to think, I've done this on projects before, but this is also just, I love that we have these things like ChatGPT now, because these are the kind of things that I think are perfect to ask, because you can get like this little function from it, and you haven't, you're not asking for this whole project or how to do something. You're just asking this little thing. So I can just be like, in Dart, how can I humanize numbers so that they are like 1.2K, 5.2M, etc. And this will give me a great snippet that we will, not just blindly put in our project, but we'll look at it. This, this isn't the great, and there's probably a better way to do this, but I'm cool with this. So we're going to take this and we're going to go to our string utils. And we already have the generate random string, but we can do one here. We will make it static, because again, we're using these classes really just for organization purposes, because I just don't like having random floating global functions that we import. This will kind of namespace it to this. So now what we can actually do, let's actually make this now a int number. Yeah, the value, let's make this have to be an int instead that we pass in. And then we can actually use our string utils dot humanize number and pass in that value. Then over here, we actually just have to get rid of the string characters, of course. Which I'll do just like that, save everything. And now, hopefully, yeah, 1.0K followers. And if we made this like, really big, we would start to get, whoa, billions, look at that. Now this function, like, whoa, I guess if we change that, it should be 1.2. Yeah, okay, cool. 1.2 million followers, 12 following. This is quite the account. So let's put this back to something more realistic. And we probably also want to just mark a major to do here. Let us just go to do replace hard-coded values. Because right now we don't have anything built to actually get this. We don't have a check-in model yet. We don't have followers or following, so this is just pretty UI. Okay, so we'll do that. And now we are looking good. If we go back to our lovely profile page here, okay, they have that. Then we have the person's name. So let's get that in place. So after all of this, so we have a column, we have this row, and then I guess after here, let's just put some text, and we'll use the user.userinfo. Full name, I guess. Now, userinfo. Let's just make something called userinfo equals user.userinfo. Although we're not, it's interesting. We're actually not going to have, for other people's profiles, we're not going to have all their user info. We're going to have to find a smart way to just get the things that we need. So I'm actually also going to text user.userinfo. We can actually just fall back to my name or something. User.userinfo.full name, fall back to my name. So we'll have some text like this. We will want this to be aligned to the left. I think we're going to have the bio after this too. So let's actually just go to our cross-axis alignment and use the start for that, just kind of as our default. Then we have that there, which is cool. We probably also want, some kind of divider, or at least, some kind of size box with a height. Let's do maybe 8, just to kind of space this out a bit. And I feel like for this, we can use style theme.of_context. I'm trying to use theme.of_context as much as possible because we're eventually going to design this pretty. And I want to make sure if we're using this, we can kind of like just do a lot of global changes to our style and everything will take instead of going through systematically and changing everything. So that's what I'm trying to do. We'll see what happens. So let's try just body large here. And then let's actually go copy width. Font weight dot, let's use that width 600 again, which I kind of liked. Then we have the name, and then after this, we can also essentially have the user.bio, which this is our custom one, right? This is, our custom one. So we'll have that. And I don't know why. Oh, I guess user.bio is blank on this one, of course. So I want to do the same thing, but we'll use the same font size, but we're going to have that. Let's just temporarily put in like blah, 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 like that. That's my bio. And actually, let's use body medium here. Yeah, that'll look pretty good. And what we can also do on the bio is give it a max. Oops, I'm not within bio. We could give it like a max lines of like 2 or something, and do a text overflow. Sorry, what is it? Overflow. Yeah, text overflow dot ellipse. And we can also have something where, we could have if you click on this, it can expand the whole thing. So let's just do like to do expand bio. We might want to do that, or like show it, in its full thing. Okay, cool. So we'll have the bio there, and let's also put an if statement here. If user.bio is not empty, just so we don't take up any, space if it's there. Okay, so we have our bio there. Let's get a bio. So we don't have a way to do that yet. That is probably gonna be in the next video, other than during sign up. But I can, of course, in my database make this change. So let's find our users. User. Right, that's just the relationship. Oh, there, bio. Okay, so I think it's this one. Hi, this is my bio. I hope you enjoy everything I have to offer. Sure. And then Command S will actually execute it. And then obviously, our database isn't going to be like just live. We're not streaming changes to our database, so we'll just do a reload. It's the quickest way to get it. And go to our profile again. And I guess that is not the right one. Okay, let's go to, let's just find out by going to user, Serverpod, user info, Tyler 3. Yeah, it's ID 3. Yeah, this is the right one. Okay, something weird is happening then. Let us, it still says the bio is blank. Did I not actually save that to, maybe that didn't actually save it. Let's see. It seems like it did. Okay, something weird is happening. Rebuild. I'll get rid of this. That can't be it though. Why do I not have the user bio? Let's just print. Let's see if it's a render issue. Print user.bio. We'll just print like a little, something like that to see where it comes in. The bio is still empty. Is it, like, we're rebuilding the app, it should be getting the latest version. Why is my bio empty? Let's print it, sir. Maybe, I wonder if it's somehow being cached by Serverpod. I'm just going to restart the server. This is peculiar, though. It's definitely peculiar. Yeah, I still have this empty thing. Am I not logged in with that person? How do I, let's just go user.userinfo.email. Let's just print that. Tyler 3. It says Tyler 3. And if we go here, Tyler 3 has an ID of 3. Oh, maybe, you know what? Okay, so it's using ID of 3. Okay, ID of 3. Now if we go to our user model, which is just a relationship between The user ID. Ah, it's this one. I'm just gonna erase that one. That's why. It's working right in a raw database. It can be confusing, guys. There we go. Hi, this is my bio. Hope you enjoy everything I have to offer. Amazing. Okay, that's a good start, I think, to get sort of this together. In the next one, I think we will actually do the ability to edit your profile. Change your profile picture, update your bio, whatever else we come to do. And then eventually this will be a place where we'll be able to see, their posts, any events that they manage or attend and check-ins. And I don't know. We'll see. We're kind of making up as we go, but that's the fun of this project. All right. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next one.